people have identified themselves with pain to such a point that they can get information. Even here, there's a lot of information that we have shared for free, right? But they're not going to use it. Hey RealFam, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining. I know I've been entertaining you with the queen herself. I don't need to introduce her because already you know. But if you don't, I am sitting with Coach Malebu. Yes, she's a coach. She's a spiritual healer. She does a lot. How do you do all of this?
We can all do this. You know, we all have the same 24 hours.
Yes. And we're going to find out more about that, how she actually does it. By the way, let me just start by saying I'm very honored to have you here. And thank you so much for sharing your story. Sometimes having to share your story can be a bit, intense, taking you back. But I think we're going to touch a bit on that. Going back is very important. Sometimes we have things that we're holding on to and we are afraid to confront the past, and only to find that the only way for you to heal, the only way for you to get out of the situation that you've been in for the longest time is to actually revisit it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
So, you speak a lot about healing and you speak a lot about childhood traumas. And I'm just wondering, first question, what's the importance of healing as a person?
I believe that healing for us is that we can maneuver through life with ease. Yes, let me say that. With ease, because most of the time we struggle with a lot of things, people talking about poverty, people talking about relationships, and we're thinking that it's just poverty issues, just relationship issues, but only to find out that it's things that we have been conditioned to believe about ourselves since when we were young, right? Sure. So when you heal that, then you are able to manifest. When Coach Malebu says manifest money in just 30 days, you are able to do that. But if you haven't healed, you can go through the manifestation program, but you're not going to get anything.
Okay, I get you. And there's probably someone out there who's watching this and they're going like, you know what, I've went through pain and I want to forget about it. So the only thing that I want to do is to just forget. And I know you cannot forget. The truth is, like it or not, you will never forget. You choose to let go of something, right? But now, if there's someone who feels like, I don't even want to go through that because the pain was unbearable, how do I get over that? How can they change their mindset? Because if it was a painful situation, let's talk a bit about your story. From the youngest age, like when you were young, you were molested, right? And sexually abused, right? So imagine being a victim of rape at the young age, having to get those flashbacks and everything. How did that trigger you? Because I'm thinking we need to speak to someone who went through the, maybe not similar pain, but something that was very bad. And they are so afraid to revisit it because it was so painful. Maybe you can share with us how you got out of that. Maybe someone could take something from it.
Okay, now I'm reminded of a Bible verse, and I don't want this to be a religious thing, but
no, God is not missed, and the truth is we cannot do anything without God.
Yeah,
we do everything with God, through God.
Yeah. So I'm reminded of a Bible verse that says, there is no temptation that is beyond you as a person. So God cannot send you big things that are above you. So everything that you have, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's divorce, whether it's not having a child, whatever it is, God knew that you can handle it. So when you are escaping and not wanting to confront this issue, it means that you are scared of yourself. You are not scared of the issue per se, but you are scared of yourself. So the best way to know how or who you are is to confront the issue. And when you confront the issue, there's a reason why things happen. You know, we just don't get raped because, you know, you were wearing skimpy dresses and all that. You don't just go through a process because the devil is attacking you. No, you go through a process because it is actually elevating you to a new dimension in your life. And when you confront that issue, you will be able to, you know, I mean, I speak about my story and I see people crying and I'm like, okay, am I missing something? Because I have confronted this issue to the core until even today, you know, something that I picked up in December. My mom said she actually approached the guy who raped me, and you know, and I'm going to try and, you know, say it in English, translate it in English. She said, why, when I trusted you so much with my child and you decided to do that? And the guy said, enjoy, you know. And if, to be honest, it's a very, very painful thing. Sure. And even my mom, you know, like, it's a long story, but okay, at the end the guy acted as if he was sorry, but the first time he said the reason why Malebu did not tell you it's because she was enjoying it. Sure. You know, imagine somebody telling you, your child, your mother, about your child, you know, and my mom freaked out and all that. But it did not, like, it really, like, I was like, oh my goodness, so this guy is actually not sorry for what he did. But it does not do anything to me. And I'm not saying that I'm trying to act strong and all that, but because when I dealt with this, I did not deal with it from a guy raping me. I dealt with it from the what is it that this rape came with? Because there are things when you get divorced, when you don't have children, when you know, a whole lot of things that happens, you start blaming yourself, right? You start coming back home to yourself and you're like, you are weak because I considered myself weak. I consider, you know. So when I dealt with that part, then outside forces don't have power over me.
Wow, that's actually powerful, because I guess most of the time we let, you know, the situation control how we move from that point. And I mean, by the way, if you maybe don't get this story, so this is a person who the family trusted. He was a guy who the family were very okay with. Was he part of the family or a family friend?
No, he's actually in the neighborhood. He's actually a next door neighbor.
But you
because he's not sorry about it. Actually, you know, firstly, I think it was my brother that we need to maybe not say his name. Try. Plus, again, my family was still healing from this. They did not know how to handle it, and they were like, don't say his name, you know, let's try and, you know. But I think because he's not sorry, he's a neighbor, like next door, and my dad used to work for Transnet, you know, Squarenet, those times study trains, right? So he used to work day and night shift. So my mom had always been a housewife. So, you know, in the villages, when there's a funeral, then on Friday, the elderly people will go and cook, and all those things.
And come early hours of the morning.
Yes, so my mom will be like, please look after my children, especially if my brother was not there. Please look after my children, what. And I had two sisters, but this guy, because he knew I was the youngest, maybe I didn't know, he just decided, okay, fine, I'm going to satisfy myself with this one.
You know what? The best thing about this story is that Malebu has healed from that. I think that's the best part of it. I mean, I've heard the story not once, not twice, million times. I mean, and it still gets to me, and I think mainly because I've not I haven't experienced that, but it's actually painful, you know. I can just imagine, you know, I mean, especially if you're young. I mean, but anyway, let's not dwell into that. The great thing is that you healed. So I think what we're trying to portray, or the message that we're trying to put across, is that you might go through pain, you might go through a situation, but never think that situation will last forever. You make your own choice. I feel like what you just said, to say you had to be in a position where you deal with the matter, you deal with the core problem. And how do we do that? We return to God, because like it or not, we can make this conversation about God. I'm okay. He's the center. He is in our midst at this moment. And I believe that for you to heal from just about anything you're going through, you need to actually get God to help you, pray about it, and do whatever. And now this is, you know, a major thing. It's a little bit big, but you know, when you do your sessions with people, you always deal with even little, like small things that trigger people that they're not aware of. And again, it hinders you from growing. It hinders you from having the things that you want. And I think I love your story, how, you know, God has just blessed you with, you know, abundance. I mean, she's a mother, she's a wife, listen, she is good. She is good. She doesn't have debts, guys. Let me tell you now, there's a video that she shared with her husband. You can go to her channel now, Malebu TV. I'll put the link on the description. I'm telling you, they don't have debts. Their cars are paid cash.
Yeah,
listen. So that is amazing. And she spoke earlier, on the previous video, if you saw, about creating the life that you want. Now, how do you help someone who is holding on to maybe their childhood trauma? They cannot create the life that they want. They don't believe that I can actually be debt free. They don't believe that I can own a home, I can have everything that I want. I mean, all of those things, you know. And I also want us to talk about the vision board, but please firstly answer this one. All right. Her story is amazing. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I know it, but you don't. So stay tuned.
So one that I want to highlight is that you can never be 100% healed.
Okay.
Right? You are going to go through process. So it's like going grade 1, grade 2, you know. You can never say, I am fully educated, right?
Yes.
You can always
something you need to learn. Yeah.
So that is how healing is. So when I talk, there was a time when I talked about the story, I did not even talk about it by that time, because thinking about it was just making me, you know, sweat and cry and all that, right? But I went to grade 1 where I could speak about the story, and then until the time when I dig deeper onto what this person did to me, or what the situation, the rape, the whole thing, what did it do to me? Even in my marriage, you know, there was a time when I couldn't sleep without a light off. Like every time I had to put
it was triggering that memory.
Yes, because he used to sneak in my bedroom when I was sleeping, when the light was off. So it was like a defense mechanism. But anyway, for you to create the life that you want, you need to understand what your pain is, right? So what is the pain? The pain is sexual abuse. What had it done to you? And most people's pain has conditioned them to believe that they are not worthy of things. That is why when I talk about, I don't even like to talk about it more on social media, because people are, how you believe in the car, you can buy it cash, because the pain, and this is not just our pain, it's a generational pain. It has taught us that we are not worthy of anything. And when now somebody comes and like, I made $1 million in 2 days, you try to find out, did they come with a snake? What is the problem? You know, because the pain on its own, the things that have happened to us actually have a way of defining us. So when you are married, you get divorced, now you start now thinking, oh, maybe it was me, I had a problem. Or now maybe you wanted a man with a six-pack, now you say, I don't want a man with a six-pack, I just want anything that comes. You see, so pain,
so you stop.
Pain has that, but the pain
it makes you settle for just anything less than what you deserve.
And pain was never for that. if it was for that, Jesus Christ was going to say, okay guys, you know what, I'm not the Messiah, take me out of the cross.
I'm sorry to jump in there, but now I want this one, you know Mjolo, right? Mjolo can yesa you, Mjolo can do things to you. So I'm trying to think, you might be someone who has been in a relationship and you got hurt and everything. So the fact that you got hurt by that six-pack guy, are you gonna now settle for anything? Are you gonna settle for that Mkaba guy when you don't want a person with Mkaba? You know, so it's a question that you need to ask yourself. But I'm not getting into that. I was just passing.
Exactly. So if pain was the purpose of pain was to make us or was to redefine us, that it means that you are not worthy, then Jesus Christ was not supposed to. He was just going to say, hi guys, take me out of the cross, take these things out, okay fine, let me be a normal person. But he didn't, because pain is not supposed to do that. Pain is supposed to elevate you. With my pain, I make money from it.
Exactly.
You know, so you have to elevate with your pain. You have to know, okay fine. And at times there are things that happens in our lives, right, that we manifest because of what we had experienced. At times you have to ask yourself, okay fine, what, that is why I always say, go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, what is my pain? When you know what is your pain and what your pain has conditioned you to believe, then you will know, okay, I'm going to do the opposite. By the way, there is a masterclass that I am going to teach a lot about this part. So that, because
it's sold out. So if someone is here and then they want to know about it. But anyway, you can book a session. I guess that's another thing. By the way, this woman, you pay her for work. You know? So you are fortunate now that she's sharing, but she's sharing a glimpse. So meaning, if you're gonna need a session, don't think that whatever that you get here, it's enough. There's just so much more. The testimonies, go to your socials, listen, I'll put them down on the description. You'll find it all, okay? You'll find it all.
Yep. So I think as a people, we're thinking when we go through something, it should be us. That's us. You know, even as Black people, we are struggling because of the pain that our ancestors have went through. We're still struggling with those pain. We have identified ourselves.
So it's like a generational curse that we're cursing on ourselves.
Yes, and we have to break the chain, like we are always singing in the church.
Break every chain.
You know, we have to break those chains.
Yeah.
We have to break the chain. And God has given us the ability to create the life that we want. And I'm going to quote a verse in the Bible. Let us create a man out of our image and likeness. And then later on he said, go subdue the world, have authority over him. God doesn't want to enter these things that we, oh God, this man is hurting me. God knows that, hey, Nthabi can make millions. Nthabi can get everything that he wants. You know, already it was, if God did not want us to have what we want, he was not going to create the world and everything. He was just going, at the beginning, create a human being and then figure out, okay, now we need oxygen. How do we do that? God has created everything and then later said, okay, with everything, I'm giving them the God inside of them, right? Go and create another world.
So meaning we have a God inside of us.
Yes.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever happens to you,
definitely,
there's a God inside of you. Phew. Now, I mean, we spoke about, you know, obviously manifesting the things that you want, and I mean, you meditate, you exercise and everything. Her fitness levels are on another level, guys. She wakes up at 5 a.m. every day. Yeah, every day.
That's, you know.
Every day. And I think, you know, sometimes people think that it's too much. But now I want us to, because I feel like this, it's important for you to declare who you are, what you're about, and what you want to do with your life, and to be disciplined, to be determined to actually achieving whatever that you want, whichever way you want. So now, can we just go tap into people's emotions? Because I feel like if you're gonna hate on us for a minute, it doesn't matter. But I believe that if you say you want something, but you're not willing to get up and make it happen. If you say you want the body,
girl,
the six-pack, the nice body and everything, but you don't get up to exercise. You always eating junk and eating all of that and expect results to come. You want to be a millionaire, but you haven't even saved a day in your life. How do you expect that to happen? So I want you to talk to that person, right? Because I believe that, yes, we have our days. There are days where you feel like, I just don't want to, listen, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sleep. Yes, those days are there. It's fine. But now, when you're trying to create the life that you want, yet you're not willing to put in the work, what are you saying? You're not showing up for yourself. What are you saying? What do you expect the universe or God to do? And if God cannot trust you with 2 hours, how can he trust you with more hours of greatness?
Yes,
can you please take
You know what? When I look at myself right now, I'm looking at God.
Yes.
You know, the Bible said that the kingdom of God is deep within. So deep within me, there is a God, but he also created me in his image, right? So this is God, right? And I'm not saying come and worship me, and this is God. Now, when I look at the characteristics of God, is that he's not lazy. He did not say, yo, hi, today I'm tired, guys. Yo, hey, let me just sleep. The world will create its own. God, he was a God of order, right? So every time, and I always complain with people who are not on time and all. Yes, because I see that human beings do not understand that they are God. And in a different manner, not in the one that we are going to sit in the church and worship Malebu. No, you are God. And start behaving like you are God. What did God do? Go and study God in every religion. I actually studied God in every religion and culture. How people perceive God in Christianity, in Buddhism, and all these things. God is not lazy. So even when we are praying and then we are thinking in our mind that we are praying to this God, we want him to give us the things that we cannot get. So imagine if you are a God and then you want to have a great body and you're like, yeah, what time is it? I'll check tomorrow. Those type of things. So
those ones.
You have to start believing that you are God. My son is Nkosi. His name is Nkosi, right? But he is born through me and his father. So when I look at him, that is why a lot of people be like, Nkosi looks like the father, because he's born from our image and our likeness, right?
Yeah.
He may look like the father, behave like me. So exactly like us, when I say I want something, it means that I look like God. I have the abilities, the creative abilities to create the life that I want. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do that. Discipline starts from understanding who you are, right? So who you are is that you are God. And then when you are God, you are going to wake up. Today I didn't want to wake up. I went to run and I hear she's telling me about the sexiness, and sometimes I know I have gained weight.
She has a very big problem.
I have gained weight and they don't see that. And maybe because I'm hard on myself or something. But I woke up and I was like, no, I can't wake up. I had all these reasons because the mind is so small, right? It's so small that it gives you reasons why you should not.
Shouldn't do it.
And I said, if I sleep again
And
today,
I'm obsessed about my mentality.
if I sleep again today, it means that I'm not honoring the God that I am. Then I went and it was raining and I wanted to turn, but something in me said, don't turn.
Keep going.
You said you are waking up, you are going to run 7 kilometers. Go and run 7 kilometers and come back.
Finish what you start.
Yes. So I to be honest, when I look at myself, I look at God and I know that God actually saved. There's nothing that is more difficult for God. If I want to figure out something, I figure it out. If I want to start the camera thing, how do I do this? I figure it out because God figured out how to create this entire universe.
So what will make us not achieve all of that or figure it all out? That's amazing. That's amazing. I hope you're taking something from this, because this is information that you will not get for free. Okay, it's a glimpse of what you can expect. She has a practice. She does all of this right now. It's the year is only starting. Listen, it's January. People have the New Year's resolutions and everything. Okay, if I can tell you, I don't normally focus on resolutions. I believe that whatever goal I've set for myself, I look at that when the year ends and see, okay, what did I achieve, right? And out of what I've achieved, what is that thing that I didn't do well and everything, and then I take it from there and move. Because I don't believe that you can have a resolution this year and then next year it's a different one.
A long-term thing.
Yeah, because if last year you didn't achieve that and it was on your goal, and then you're gonna put on the next year, how are you gonna achieve it if you didn't achieve it then? If you are not going to check the mistakes or see how you can rectify that. Listen, anyway, we're not there. Now, where there's no vision, the people perish.